Greetings, Shel Downing with Compass, and I'm serving Orange County and LA County, and I'm coming today to share with you, to answer the question people have been asking me, Shel, what's happening in the real estate market? Today is Wednesday, April 29. We're about, 6 weeks into the COVID restrictions and experiencing this pandemic together. So I wanted to answer that question that's been asked to me. Because I'm a realtor, I read and watch a lot of webinars on the economy. I'm not an economist, but it is part of my job to really know what's going on, know the statistics and that. So what I'm seeing, and yesterday I went through all the cities that I serve in LA County and Orange County. We are still in a seller's market. Anywhere from a mild to a strong seller's market, depending on the city. I went city by city. And if you don't understand what a seller's or a buyer's market is, it has to do with the months of inventory. We are inching towards a buyer's market. We haven't in Southern California been in a buyer's market in years. And real estate is primarily a function of supply and demand. And what we have here, because the demand is so high, the desirability to live in Southern California is so high, we often struggle with inventory, which we have for a long time. Going into this time of the pandemic, January and February were incredibly robust. I think some of you know I had a listing that got 27 offers in Altadena, another 7 offers in Huntington Beach. So just the demand was really high for good properties. With that kind of deficit in inventory, we have that demand still somewhat. But what we do have, the way I would characterize the current market right now is I'd say we're on a major pause. And that's exactly what I experienced back in 2007, 2008. I remember a listing I had, I'd been getting showings, and then it just stopped. The phone stopped ringing, showings stopped, and that's kind of what's happened now. There's a lot of reasons for that. I'd say the 2 primary reasons are, of course, the stay-at-home order. Real estate has been deemed essential business, which helps, but still, if you have a seller that is living in the property, it's very hard to show that property. Many of those have gone on hold. I do happen to have listings that are vacant properties. Even then, the showings have been slow and minimal. And the reason for that probably is because of the lending environment. The lending environment has responded rapidly to the uncertainty of these times and the joblessness of these times. And so what I'm being told is there are temporary criteria changes. So you have to have, it's harder to qualify. You have to have a higher FICO score. Your debt to income ratio has to be robust. And so it's really important that if you are wanting to buy a home in this time and you are going to get a loan, that you are reaching out to different lenders, because the banks will have a different offering than, say, some of the more creative or some of the lenders who are working with multiple sources for lending. And it's proper that the lending community has responded this way because they need to manage their risk. And again, it's the uncertainty that we have. What is going to happen? How long is this going to go on? And so that tells you the current market. We are still closing some deals. I do have listings. I do have buyers. I have showings on Thursday. So it's just the inventory is about half of what it was last year at this time. So again, that when things loosen up, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Talking about what's going to happen, I don't have a crystal ball, and none of us know exactly, but I do look to the experts to give some guidelines. So I'm hearing 2 things, and one is hearing that it's going to be a quick recovery, and the economists are saying there's reasons this market is not like prior recessions or depressions that we've had. We were, like I said, super robust, healthy environment before the pandemic hit. So I'm hearing some real positive things, but then I also hear the negative things of the unemployment that we have and how long is this going to go on, small businesses that haven't been able to recover, the service industries that have taken such a huge hit. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen, and I guess it depends on who you're listening to. I tend to listen to the more positive reports that we will, and I personally believe that we will recover well. What I saw back in 2000 and 2008, because I'm in Southern California where the demand is so high, the prices stalled. We did not, in the cities that I was selling in, we didn't have a huge decrease in price when that recession hit. And then as soon as we got back to business, the prices just started climbing again, and they've climbed ever since. And we keep waiting for the market to go down. So I tend to think that we are going to see that as well, this time as well. So that's my prediction, based on what I'm reading, what I'm listening to, and my experience. And the last thing I wanted to say is something more about, not so much about the market, but about you, my advice to you. And one of my favorite quotes, I like to share my favorite quotes, is from Mother Teresa: small things with great love. It saddens me to see the division in our country politically, and that it is carried over into this time of the pandemic. One of the things that I want to live by is kindness and love. And I think we need to start with ourselves. This time of uncertainty and isolation is very hard emotionally. So I want to encourage you to be kind and loving towards yourself, and then extend that to your family and to your friends and to your neighbors. Have small goals and give yourself some grace in this time. If you're getting this video in my newsletter, you'll see that I give some advice from Brian Buffini and the 5 circle goals. Start gentle, ease back into it, and make goals, little goals each day, and that's kind of helped me stay on track. Feel like I'm having some sense of accomplishment, some small fitness goals, some small food goals, business goals. Just keep everything moving a little bit forward, and let's ease back into this full life that we're going to do, kind of the same way as we want to phase back into a full, robust life, into the economy, and is going to be good. So small things with great love. Be gentle with yourself, and be well, be safe, stay strong. Thanks for listening.